Hey, Team Avatar, this is Captain Yeet here for you for the Avatar Last Airbender episode review. This is going to be Avatar Last Airbender Season 1, Episode 9, titled The Waterbending Scroll, Redo, Book 1, Water. So, let's get into it. So, the beginning of the episode starts off with a recap of a few episodes that we've seen before, then the theme song, then we get into the actual episode. So, the actual episode starts off with Aang, Katara, Sokka, Team Avatar, and Tapa Appa flying through the sky. Now, when they're doing this, Aang is pacing back and forth, and he's freaking out. Sokka tells him to calm down because if they hit like a bump in the road, or well, not a bump in the road in the sky, but if there's like some turbulence, Aang is gonna go flying, and Aang goes, "I can't calm down. I told you what Avatar Roku told me. I have to learn all the elements before next summer, and I don't even know waterbending yet, and we're weeks away from the North Pole." And he's freaking out. Sokka does say one little joke that did have me cracking up. He goes, "Okay, Aang, let's see here. It took you around 112 years to master airbending. So, I mean, yeah, you should be able to learn the other three really soon." Aang was not happy. He was straight faced. He was not laughing at all. Anyway, Katara says, "Hey, Aang, until we can get to the North Pole, I can just teach you what I know." He goes, "Really? You'll teach me that?" He goes, "Yeah, but we're gonna need a good source of water." Sokka goes, "Okay, I guess we can find some sort of puddle for you guys to splash in." And then eventually they find this like gigantic waterfall with this giant stream of water going away from it. Yeah, this would do. It is also really funny because Aang and Katara are like smiling so big, like they were so happy they found this place. Look at their faces. I'm about to show it. Look at them. Those jokers were happy, boy. They're like, "What? Look at this!" That's a good spot to do some water bending. That's really cool. So after that, we go over. Oh no, no, sorry, I almost got ahead of myself. So after that, we go over to Aang and Appa. Well, Appa already jumps in the water. Aang's about to jump in there too. But Katara tells him that we're not here to have fun. We're here to learn waterbending. So Sokka goes, "Okay, so if you guys are gonna learn waterbending, what am I gonna do?" Aang goes, "Well, you can clean the gunk out of Appa's toes. So you two are gonna go play in the water. Well, I have to clean the gunk out of Appa's toes? Yeah." And Sokka goes, "Oh, okay." Like he just wanted to make sure, like reaffirm that's what I'm doing, right? Like he didn't. It's not like he was gonna get mad, but no, he was just making sure that's reaffirming that's what's happening. So then we go over to Zuko, and he's training with some of his men on the boat. And while he's training, the boat shifts to the side, and Zuko almost falls down, and he starts spazzing because somebody changed course, and he didn't give the order. So he runs up to the helmsman, he starts yelling at him, and Uncle Iroh says that he's the one that told him to move. Why? So there's like this chess game that he plays throughout the series, and specifically, I don't know how it works. It's not specifically chess, but it's like a chess-like game. But specifically, it is a tile in the game that's a lotus tile that has gone missing. He can't find his lotus tile, so he wants to go buy a new one. Now, Zuko starts spazzing like, "What? We're on the course to find the Avatar to get my honor back. You want to change course to find some stupid tile?" He goes, "See, most people think that this tile isn't really important, but it actually has a great purpose in this game." That's not what Zuko's talking about. He's not worried about the purpose of the game and everything. He wants to go find the Avatar. Anyway, Uncle Iroh said that there's a market really close by that he's going to go to for around 10 minutes to see if he can find a lotus tile. And Zuko, he's agreeing to let Uncle Iroh do this. But you can tell he's still really mad about it because he doesn't really want to waste a ton of time since they were on the Avatar's track. He was so mad to where he starts to breathe fire a little bit, which is cool though. Which is cool. It was mostly smoke, but it was still a little bit of fire. It was really cool when he did that. See, like that was dope. He goes, "Whew, thank goodness to have such an understanding nephew." I mean, yeah, he kind of understood, but he was not too happy about changing course at all. So then we go back over to Team Avatar, and Qatar is teaching Aang some of the moves she learned, and she's getting madder and madder because, well, she doesn't start yelling at him, but you can tell she's getting madder and madder because Aang is able to pick up these waterbending skills really easy, and it took her a long time to. So specifically, the first move that took her around 2 months to master, it's like this push and pull move. You just pull the water this way, and then push the water that way, and you just keep doing it to make like a little mini wave in the water. It took around 2 months, like I said. Aang picks it up instantly. Now, when I saw this scene for the first time, and now since I watched the episode again, I started thinking to myself, I wonder if this is confirmed or not in the lore of Avatar, but I'm assuming that avatars can learn bending a lot easier regular benders. Now, obviously, they still have to take years to master each element, but they can pick it up a lot easier and faster than most people because they are the Avatar. That's not confirmed, but that's just like a thought I had, which would make sense. But I don't remember if they ever actually specifically said that in this series. I never watched Korra, so maybe they said that in Korra. I'll probably watch Korra before the new Avatar show comes out with the it's supposed to be an earthbending girl. Which I thought it was supposed to be like, boy, girl, boy, girl. That'd be two girls back to back. But I mean, it's whatever. But before the new series come out, whenever that's gonna be, I'm gonna watch Korg. I just haven't watched it yet at all. I seen the very first episode when it first came out, all the like when it very first came out, the world premiere. I just wasn't rocking with it. I said this multiple times, but I'll probably sit down and watch the whole thing eventually before the new Avatar thing comes out. Anyway, like I said, Qatar is teaching Aang a few more moves. He's able to pick it up really easily. Qatar gets really mad at this. I do want to show this one really quick shot of Aang learning this one move to where he grabs like a gloop of water and starts to bend it around, which looks really cool. Qatar can just barely hold it. Aang, he's like throwing it over his head. He's going side to side. That boy was styling. He wasn't playing. You see, look at this. Even Guitar mixing that. He goes, okay, that was good. You didn't have to throw it over your head though. He goes, oh, I'm sorry, I just got excited, but I have such a good teacher. Trying to hype her up a little bit. Eventually, Aang he makes a really big wave and it splashes Sokka and he goes flying, and all the supplies go down the river. Now, at first I was confused because Appa's on his back and the supplies weren't going down the river, so I guess all the supplies were like off to the side on the dirt. And the wave that he makes by accident was really big, so I can assume that the wave he made went over to the dirt a little bit and then started to make it go down river. But yeah, that's all the supplies. Now they have to buy a bunch of new supplies at the market that's around the corner. So they go to the market, they're walking around trying to find some new stuff, and they only have 3 copper coins left from the money King Boomy gave them. I guess the guy from the village from last week didn't give them any money, just like food supplies. Which hey, it's better than nothing, but I thought he'd give them money too. But yeah, they only have 3 copper coins left. But Aang goes, no, actually, we have 2 copper coins left. I couldn't give up the chance to buy this whistle. And he blows on the whistle that looks like a bison, and no sound comes out of it. And I'm assuming, which it kind of is confirmed later on, it's like a dog whistle. It doesn't really make any noise, but the dog can hear it. So Katara goes, you know what, Aang? No offense, but I'm gonna be holding the money from now on. So he has to give her the money. They keep walking around for a little bit, and eventually they find this random dude next to a boat, and he says that inside of his boat he has a bunch of trinkets and stuff. They go inside of his boat. They're looking around. They do have a lot of exotic kind of things. We see the pirate captain. Boy, oops, a daisy. I kind of spoiled it already. They're about to say it in like the next scene or two, so I guess it's whatever. But we see the pirate captain. He comes out and he has like a parrot, a reptile bird thing on his shoulder, and he asks Aang for Momo because Momo is so unique and rare. He could get a hefty price for him, but obviously Momo, he's not for sale. So then Qatar, she finds a waterbending scroll that has a bunch of techniques to learn different waterbending moves. She goes, wow, where did you find this? The pirate captain goes, well, let's just say I got this from a man up north for a reasonable price. Free. I do want to show this one shot of Qatar smiling really big with Aang smiling really big too. Like she was like really happy. Look at her. She's like, wow, I can't believe it. It's a waterbending scroll. This is amazing. Like this was so nice. So after he says that, that's when Sokka puts the pieces together. He goes, wait a second. You guys have a bunch of exotic items. You guys have a waterbending scroll you get for free and all this other stuff. Wait a second, you guys are pirates. One pirate dude off to the side goes, well, we like to call ourselves extraordinary traders. I don't think that's what they said something about like traders, like high risk traders. I think that's what they specifically said. And so they're like, okay, well, how much for the waterbending scroll? They already have a buyer in the Earth Kingdom, unless they can give them 200 gold. They don't have anywhere near that. They don't even have one piece of gold. They only have copper. But Angles, hey, Qatar, pirates love to haggle. So give me the money. I know what to do. So he goes, hey, how much for the scroll for 1 copper piece? The pirate captain starts to laugh. He goes, no. Unless you have 200 gold, I'm not selling this to you. This isn't the type of item I'll haggle. He goes, how about 2 copper pieces? It's not funny the second time, boy. Not Katara goes, you know what? Let's just get out of here. And she looks really nervous. So when they get off the boat, Aang and Sokka's like, hey, what's the matter? Why you look all nervous for? I mean, we could have just kept looking around for stuff. She goes, no, I'm gonna feel a lot better once we leave out of this place. They're kind of confused, but like, hey, it's whatever. And then a bunch of pirates from the boat jump out and start to attack them. They're really confused, like, what's going on? But they have to get out of there because they're getting attacked. So they start to run away, running through the market. We get this really cool scene where Katara grabs some water, turns it into ice. A pirate or two slips on it. Aang specifically shoots a huge air gust through at the. So the cabbage guy from Amasu, he's here. He shoots a huge air gust. It hits the wagon and slams into a few pirates. It was funny because the dude goes, "What? Man, this place is worse than Omasu." That was good. So eventually they get cornered in an alleyway. So Aang pulls out his glider, jumps on it. Katara and Sokka grab onto it and able to fly away. They go back over to their little camp that they made in the woods, and they're like, "Man, this is ridiculous. Why did they attack us?" Aang does say that he used to look up to pirates, but not anymore. I wonder why he looked up to them back in the day during, when he wasn't frozen to ice. Maybe they were like kind of chill during his time. Maybe, maybe they were more rough and tough and stuff. But the reason why the pirates were attacking them is because Katara, she stole the waterbending scroll. Now, Sokka and Katara get into a bit of an argument because Sokka says, "Why did you steal the scroll? You took it without telling us and you put our lives in danger." Now, Katara says that, hey, they stole the scroll from someone else. So, what's the problem for me stealing the scroll from them if they already stole it? Which I can see both sides, but mainly the biggest thing is obviously you took the scroll without telling anybody, and it did put their lives in danger, and that does come back into play later on in the episode. But eventually, Sokka walks off because he's not trying to argue with Katara anymore. Then we go over to Uncle Iroh and Zuko, and not at the same market Team Avatar was. And Uncle Iroh goes, "I went to every shop in this market, and nobody had a lotus tile." And Zuko says, "Hey, I'm really glad that this whole trip was a big waste for everyone." Iroh goes, "Hey, you know what I say? If you can't find what you're looking for, find what you're not looking for at a great price." I don't know why, but when he said that, that had me chuckling because, like I said, like you saw my hand, he went like this at a great price. Like he was like announcing it to like a ton of people, like on a game show. I don't know why. And we see a bunch of the Fire Nation men that help run the boat walking onto the boat with a bunch of random junk. I mean, this dude was going on a shopping spree. Now they have plenty of money to spare, but still, he's just buying a bunch of random junk just to buy it. At a great price. Look at his hand. And the funniest part was this one dude brought a really big horn onto the boat. And Zuko's like, "What? Why did you buy a Zangugi horn?" I think that's how you say it, a Zangugi horn. He goes, "Why did you buy that?" He goes, "Oh, I like to play it for the men during music night." So eventually, Uncle Iroh finds the pirate boat and gets into it. Zuko and him are looking around, and Zuko overhears the pirate saying, "Hey, we lost the waterbending girl and the monk with the tat." I mean, no, sorry. He says, "I lost the waterbending girl and the monk that she was rocking with." And then Zuko overhears that. He goes, "Wait a second. Was this monk? Did he have a tattoo on his head?" And then we cut to the next scene because obviously, okay, now they're about to partner up. But I want to show this one shot to where when Team Avatar was on the boat, there was this stone monkey with a bunch of red jewels up there. Katara looked at it and kept moving. Now in this scene, when Zuko's asking the dude like, "Hey, did this monk have a tattoo?" We see Uncle Iroh in the background. He's holding the monkey and he's making the same face. He's making the same face as the monkey. Why? I don't know. I guess just to be like funny. But he's making the same face as the monkey, which is cracking it did crack me up a little bit. So then we go back over to Team Avatar, and Aang is holding up the waterbending scroll for Katara to learn this one move, specifically called the water whip. You grab a little bit of water, you flatten it out, and you make a whip with it. Now Katara is trying to master this technique, and she's not able to do it. She whips herself by accident. She whips Moko. She whips herself by accident with the whip. She whips Momo with the whip by accident, and she gets really frustrated. She goes, "Why can't I get this move down pat?" And Aang goes, "Hey, it's all in the wrist." And he grabs some water, and he does it easily, very first try. Now, while Aang is trying to explain to her how to do it, she starts yelling and spazzing at Aang, saying that your cosmic wisdom can get really annoying sometimes and that everybody can be like you. And she looks at Sokka and he looks really mad. She goes, "What?" Looks back at Aang, and oh, sorry, I hit my table by accident. She looks at Aang, and he's starting to tear up. He's about to cry. She apologized to Aang for yelling at him. She was just getting a little frustrated because he was, getting everything down pat so easily. Well, no, actually, she doesn't explain all that. She just says, sorry for yelling at him. She also apologized to Momo because, like I said, she whipped Momo by accident, was still trying to do the water whip. And Sokka goes, what about me? She goes, no more apologies. She doesn't, she doesn't really want to apologize to Sokka, but here's the water whip I was talking about. Oops, a daisy. I know, sorry. I keep forgetting on Paramount Plus you have to click B to get the thing away, but on Netflix you don't really have to do that. And I mean, if it shows up, yeah, you have to do it, but you don't have to do it when it's just playing regularly. You have to do that on Netflix. I mean, you don't have to do that on Netflix. I keep forgetting that. But hey, I got it. I got it. So anyway, after that, we go over to Zuko. I do like this one scene. So Zuko and the pirates are sailing their boats together on the river, and the pirate captain goes, "Hey, shouldn't we stop and search in the woods?" Zuko goes, "No." He goes, "Why?" "Well, you said they took a waterbending scroll, right?" "Yeah." "Well, then they'll be underwater." Which is true, but I mean, they wouldn't really be waterbending on the water, but they would be close to the water. So I mean, I get what he's saying. They would be close to the water, so they wouldn't be too far out into the woods. Which technically they kind of are. Well, their camp is because they're not really at this really part of the river. But I mean, hey, they were able to find them because of situational stuff. So we cut the later that night. The fire is still going in between everybody. They probably should have took the fire out before that happens. But it's the middle of the night, and Katara wakes up and grabs the waterbending scroll, and she's going to go practice. Momo does jump in front of her, and she tells Momo to go to sleep. She's practicing how to do the water whip. She's getting more frustrated that she can't do it, but she's making so much noise to where the pirate and Zuko are able to hear her. They're able to ambush Katara and tie her up. They're asking her, where Aang and Sokka are. She doesn't want to give them up. And Zuko goes, "Hey, look, I need the Avatar so I can restore something I lost. My honor. I know you want to restore something that you lost too." And then he pulls out her mother's necklace. Remember in the prison, he specifically had, I mean, when I had, but he took her necklace when she dropped it during the whole battle at the, what was it called? I guess the rig, just like the oil rig thing that they had. I don't think it was called anything specifically, but he took it. She goes, "Hey, my mother's necklace. How did you get it?" "I didn't steal it, if that's what you're wondering. But hey, so now where's Aang and Sokka, and I'll give you back your necklace." She still says no. I mean, yeah, she wants her necklace back, but she's not about to give up Aang and Sokka. So the pirate captain, he gets really mad. He goes, "Look, you promised me I'll be able to get my scroll back. You have the scroll in your hand, so give it back to me." He wants to get his money. Zuko makes a little ball of fire in his hand. He goes, "I wonder how much this is worth. You go into the woods and find Aang for me, and I'll give you the scroll. Then we can all leave happy." I do want to show the scene where he made a little fireball. It was a really cool lit scene with the fire. He's like, I mean, it sounds simple, but it was a really cool looking scene when he was making a little fireball with with Zuko. When he was making he was making the fireball with Zuko. When he was making the fireball to threaten them, it was a really nice scene. I do like it a lot. So after that, we cut to the morning, and Aang and Sokka wakes up. Sokka realizes that the waterbending scroll is gone, and then they get ambushed by the pirates. Now, after a little bit of fighting, they're able to tie up Aang and start to drag him away, but they don't capture Sokka because they were specifically looking for Aang because that's what Zuko wanted. Now, it was kind of funny because when they take away Aang, Sokka goes, "Oh, what? I'm not too worthy to kidnap?" And then they kidnap Sokka. I'm like, that was funny, but Sokka, maybe be quiet. You could have ambushed them later on without being kidnapped. But then we come back over to like the what's it called? The shore. We cut over to the shore to where we see Sokka and the pirates and Aang on one side of the shore, maybe like 20 feet this way. It's Zuko, the waterbending scroll, and Katara and his men. So obviously he wants Aang. The pirates want the scroll. They're about to do the handoff. But then Sokka goes, "Hey, are you really gonna give up the Avatar for a waterbending scroll?" The pirate captain's like, "What? That's the Avatar?" And Zuko's telling him to shut up. And also Aang, he's also telling him to shut up too. He goes, "Yeah, I mean, come on, imagine how much Aang is gonna go for on the black market. Actually, could you imagine the price that Fire Lord Ozai would give to you for the Avatar? I mean, you guys would be set like kings." The pirate captain's like, he's right. you know what? You can keep the waterbending scroll. I'm gonna pitch in for the Avatar. Obviously, Zuko's not gonna roll for that, so him and all of his firebending men, and then the pirates and all his men, so to do a big battle royale. Now some of the pirates throws down a few smoke bombs, so now all the pirates and all the firebending men are fighting in this really big puff cloud with a few shenanigans going on. Somebody tries to stab somebody else and misses, and it cuts Aang's rope, so now he's able to get away. And Zuko's fighting the pirate captain. We see Momo flying around fighting against the little reptile bird thing that the pirate captain has. It was pretty funny. Like the two little like flying animals are fighting each other. That was dope. But I do want to show the pirate captain fighting Zuko because the little bit that we get was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. Zuko's dodging and throwing fire. Even the fire captain using his sword. It was pretty dope what we got. It was a little bit, but it wasn't. It was pretty cool. I do like what we were getting. Let me go back over here. Okay, so after that, we cut over to Aang and um Sokka. So I almost said Qatar. So Sokka and Aang are yelling at each other because they're in a really big smoke cloud because some of the pirates threw down a few smoke bombs. So they're yelling at, hey Aang, where are you? I'm over here. No, I'm over here. And so Aang uses airbending to push all the smoke away. But as soon as he does that, a bunch of Fire Nation men and a bunch of pirates are surrounding him with swords and spikes, and so he just grabs all the air and brings it back so it can block everybody's eyes because he was about to get cut up, boy. That was really funny. Eventually, Aang is able to jump out the big smoke cloud, and then you see he was like, "Oh, you know what? Let me just bring it back." You know, I'll find you. He jumps out the smoke cloud with Sokka. They're running away, and when they do this, Katara is trying to push the pirate boat back into the water so they can use it to sail away. But the pirate boat is really heavy. Even when Sokka and Aang help her, it's too heavy. Sokka's like, "Man, we're gonna need at least like 3 or 4 rhinos to pull this thing up the water. I mean, to pull this thing into the water." And Aang goes, no, actually, we just need 2 waterbenders. So Aang and her both do the simple pull and push move, the way they pull the water forward and push it back, and they keep doing that over and over again until eventually a bunch of water is able to grab on to the boat and it goes back into the water. Which is good, they're bringing back a little technique that's simple, but they can do it on a bigger scale and it can actually work in their favor. I mean, hey, that was good. That was really good. So they jump onto the boat. They start to sail away. Uncle Iroh runs over to Sokka. I mean, not Sokka. Runs over to Zuko and the pirate captain and makes them stop fighting. And Uncle Iroh goes, "Are you serious? Are you two so busy fighting you can't even notice your own boat is sailing away?" Zuko goes, "Uncle, this is no time for proverbs. It's not a proverb. Look." And they see the boat sailing away. So the pirate captain starts to run after it. Zuko laughs at him, but then he sees his own little mini boat that he used is sailing away too with the pirates up there. And he goes, "Come on, Uncle, we have to go." Uncle Iroh goes, maybe this should be a proverb." so, so anyway, eventually the pirates using Zuko's boat, able to catch up to their own boat with Aang and Sokka on it. In Qatar, they fight off the pirates. Momo is able to beat the little parrot thing by tying it up with the flag on the boat until eventually, actually, I do want to show this one scene because when they were fighting off the pirates to get off the boat, Aang makes like this wind slash air bubble to knock one pirate off, and then he makes like this air wind sort of like tornado, like yeah, like a little mini tornado to knock another pirate off, which is pretty cool. I mean that was dope. He makes a bubble, then he makes that little wind tornado. I mean that was really dope. I kind of feel bad for Sokka because one pirate grabbed him, threw him against the mast, and then he fell on the deck. Like, geez, I know that had to hurt. So, hey, everything's all hunky dory, right? They have all the pirates off. No, there's one pirate left, and instead of fighting it, Aang blows the whistle. Sokka goes, "Are you nuts? We have to fight against these pirates, and we have to deal with that." What is that? They're about to go over a waterfall. That's bad. What are we gonna do? They don't have enough time to turn the boat around. But Katara goes, "Hey, Aang, we can make sure the boat doesn't go over the waterfall. Just do the same move as I'm doing to push and pull." They do that on a really big scale, and they make 2 little whirlpools that stops the boat from going overboard. Now, yes, they are kind of just stuck here, but I mean, hey, at least they're not going overboard, right? No, Zuko's boat being led by the pirates rams their boat and they go over the water. I mean, well, the waterfall. They go over the waterfall, but when they go over the waterfall, Appa, he was able to fly in and catch everybody, which I'm assuming is because of the whistle. They don't specifically say it's the whistle, but I mean it has to be the whistle. The whistle was literally a bison, and nobody could hear it. So I'm assuming Appa could hear that. So yeah, I'm assuming that was like a bison whistle, which is kind of wild because bison are supposed to be like extinct in today's time. So who would have a bison whistle? I mean, I guess they just could have it from the generations of just like selling it and stuff, but still, you wouldn't think there would be any around in today's time, since bisons don't really exist right now. But I mean, hey, that's what happens. So then we go over to Zuko and Uncle Arrow. They see the little mini boat that they have over the waterfall. Zuko's really mad about that, and Uncle Arrow starts laughing. He goes, "Prank Zuko, you're never gonna believe this, but the lotus tile was in my sleeve the entire time." That's not funny. I mean, I thought it was funny, but Zuko obviously that was not a good time to tell Zuko. So Zuko takes the lotus tile and just throws it into the water. He was not happy at all, and that was like one of the worst times to tell Zuko that. Like, are you kidding me? Anyway, we cut to Team Avatar on the, well, I was gonna say on the Bison, but on Appa. They're flying away. Katara does apologize for taking the waterbending scroll, putting their lives in danger. She also apologizes to Aang for yelling at him. She was just so jealous that he was like getting everything right so quickly, and it takes her so long. She got a bit jealous and just snapped at him. Obviously, Aang, he accepts her apology, and he goes, "Oh no, no, sorry, Katara." She goes, "I kind of wish we never even saw that stupid scroll." Sokka goes, "Really? Is that how you feel?" And he pulls out the waterbending scroll. He has it. She goes, "What? I can't believe it." He goes, first, what did we learn? Stealing is bad. Okay, that's good. She snatches the scroll out of his hand, unless it's from pirates. And then we get the credits. Okay, so that's the episode for you guys today. Actually, before I leave, did you guys see the leak for the Avatar movie? As we know, they're coming out with an Avatar Aang, well, Avatar Aang movie, but they're coming out with an Avatar Last Airbender movie called The Legend of Aang, where everybody's older. I think they're around in their 20s, right? And I don't know well, no, the main plot is supposed to be them against that it's like I think Dave Bautista is voicing him, that black airbender, and the whole movie got leaked during this week. Well, I guess by the time I upload this, it'll be last week. But yeah, well, no, actually, no, it'll still be in the same week. This is uploading Saturday. But yeah, it got leaked early in the week. Somebody hacked into Nickelodeon and posted the full movie, not just clips, but the full movie on Twitter, which is wild. Now, most of the clips and also the full movies on Twitter did get taken down, but it took a while though. Some of those were like up for a while. I don't know why Nickelodeon wasn't on it like that, because like the Doomsday stuff that was getting leaked was getting taken down in like 10 seconds. Nickelodeon should have really been on it. But yeah, the whole movie got leaked, which is wild. That is so crazy. Now I didn't watch it. One of my friends did watch it, but I told him now I'm just gonna wait for the official release. I don't want to watch. I mean, I know it's in good quality, but I was gonna wait for the official release. I didn't want to watch it. I did see one clip everybody was yelling about, which didn't make any sense because this one clip, somebody was. I'm not gonna say what happens in the clips, just in case you don't want to know. But people were mad because what was it? They said Toph and Zuko were straight, and I was like, yeah. I mean, in the show in Avatar, she loves Zuko, not Zuko, but she likes Sokka. We know this. Like in Korra. Now, like I said, I haven't watched all the way to Korra, but I've seen some stuff from it, and I know she has two kids. Like, what? Did they not watch it? And Zuko was, we know what Zuko gets with, and during Avatar. So what are we talking about? Was so like what? What are we saying? Like that was so weird. Like, did they not watch Avatar or Korra and they just knew who Toph was and just assumed? I guess that's the only explanation because we know what Toph and Zuko get down with. Like, what are we doing? That was so stupid. And it was like, that was dumb. That was so dumb. I remember that was like a big thing I kept seeing. And I kept seeing clips too, but I didn't see too much. Actually, I just keep seeing the same clip over and over. And I've seen people post the full movie, but like I said, I didn't want to look at the full movie. It really does suck though because in that one clip, it looks beautiful, man. It looks so beautiful. I don't know why Paramount slash Nickelodeon is taking it out of theaters. It was supposed to release this year in theaters. Um, Actually, I don't know what month. I forget what month it was supposed to come out. It was like later in the year. I think around September. But yeah, I don't know what I forget what Pacific Day and month, but it was like around September, around there. But it was supposed to release in theaters, but recently they announced that yeah, they're not gonna put it in theaters. They're just gonna release it on Paramount Plus. Why would they do that? I'm pretty sure this movie would have made bank. Like this is ridiculous. I mean, maybe they can change their mind. Hopefully, and still put it in theaters. But yeah, me and my oh yeah, sorry, I'm just rambling. But you know, this is Avatar. Me and one of my friends were arguing, we're not arguing, but we were having a little debate because he was saying Paramount is going to lose so much money because, well, even if they did choose to keep it in theaters, since the whole movie leaked online and some of those posts had like 10 million plus views, nobody's going to go see it in theaters. I was like, nah, I wouldn't say that because those doomsday little teasers were getting leaked every week in advance before they released online officially, and those had like 10 million plus views, the leaked versions, but it eventually, whenever the actual versions get released on the official channels, they were still getting tens of millions of views because a lot of people aren't like in tune with like these leak news and stuff like the regular audience. Yeah, they're not looking at that kind of stuff. They just see when it comes out on Paramount or in the movies. We are the ones seeing the leaks and stuff. I mean, yes, there's a lot of people, 10 million plus, but a good chunk aren't looking at them, and a good chunk are. And the good chunk that even is still looking at it will still look at it when it's officially released. And that's why they were like breaking records and stuff when the Doomsday stuff was still coming out. Now, obviously, this is Doomsday versus, comparing it to Avatar, two completely different things, but the concept still stands. Like, even if they did release it in theaters, a lot of people will still see it in theaters, even if they did see it in the leak. In the general audience, most of them aren't seeing these leaks. They're not seeing them at all. They're not really looking into it like how we are. But that's just wild though. That Nickelodeon got hacked and the whole movie got released. This is like the third or fourth time because didn't that happen with like two of the SpongeBob movies? There was that Plankton movie that got leaked, the whole movie like a few months in advance. There was also the that Sandy movie that got leaked. This is crazy. What are they doing over there, man? Get some better security, please. Like this is ridiculous. But yeah, that's the episode. Sorry, I'm just going a little tangent talk. Well, I mean, it was still Avatar. It was still Avatar. But anyway, yeah, that's the episode for you guys today. So, like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you all later. Thank you all for watching. I think all of that will be 1 million beings. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye. All right.